I'm just sitting here, minding my own business, and it seems like God's sending out nerfs and buffs. He seems to be buffing the squirrels and buffing the virus and just nerfing all of humanity. It's like, come on, man. This is not balance. There's some freaking... I keep running into suicidal tree rodents anytime I try to cross the road in my car. But apparently, there are some homicidal tree rodents as well. Like, come on, man. Someone just fucking... just got absolutely obliterated by a fucking tree rodent. That doesn't happen. That shouldn't happen. Like, what the fuck? Buff humans, please. So fucking, they need to send in the nerfs for these tree rodents. I mean, to be honest, if it's on me, I have a high pain tolerance. So if it's on me, I'll just grab it by the neck and then remove it from my hand and then snap its neck. Seems pretty easy. I mean, yeah, it would startle me, so I'd probably injure me a lot, but high pain tolerance, just fucking snap its neck, my dog. My dude. I'm not gonna snap your neck, Diva, stop doing that. But, like, what the fuck? Send in the buffs, please.
There's a bounty on my head. You tried it.
It added like a +3 to, or like a plus 3,000 to aggression, and like a -200 to self-control, and just sent it to the fucking squirrel's brain. Let's be real, 2020 is weird, and that's how they're gonna end the year, is just with tree rodents killing people. Fucking, we got the murderer hornets, the homicidal tree rodents. It's like, what the fuck, man? This isn't a fighting game. Achieving balance should be pretty fucking easy. They just evolved with aggression. They're not even, like, endangered animals. Except for the one that I almost ran over with my car, but it was retarded, so it's fine. I don't know if I should cut that, because that came out way wrong. I didn't mean the implication that had... I'm gonna gauge reaction on this video and delete it if I find it necessary. Because that came out wrong on so many levels. So... like... I don't know if I want to keep that in. But, yeah, the point of the story, send in the buffs. We need humans to be buffed a little bit. They're a little fragile. I mean, freaking, you fucking get a human in one of its very weird arteries and, it's game over. But these fucking squirrels, like,
Eliminating the target, that's my job.
You're done, Gordon. Give up your badge and we'll let you live.
Meanwhile, his opponents are routinely silenced. The latest to speak out is Police Commissioner Grogan. He called Dent a murderer and a terrorist and demanded his immediate resignation. In response, Dent's enforcers attempted to arrest Grogan, sparking violence inside the precinct. These are dark days in Gotham. Our mayor promised us a better city, but delivers only more violence. How long do we let this Two-Face stay in power? How long can we...
I was gonna do this review tomorrow, because this is after my big MCU speculation video, and then I said, fuck it. I might shoehorn this in. No, that isn't happening. So, I've been watching so many reviews, and now I'm gonna fucking say something. I fucking loved WandaVision. I've watched it twice now. The 2 episodes that came out, for some reason they launched both episodes on the same day. I think, and, so... Jeremy Johns I want to say that's his name. Hold on. I was literally just watching him, so I don't know why. And I watch him a lot. I just don't. So I don't know why. That I'm forgetting his name. American film critic. All right. So yeah, Jeremy Jahns. He pointed out that these episodes could have been one episode. And so that's probably why they released both of them on the same day. And to be honest, yeah, the only reason that they couldn't be is because of that like intro. They have like 2 intros. The second one I don't even like that much, honestly, so I'm fine, kind of. I found the second, like, the animation was kind of neat, but I found it to be kind of annoying. But yeah, the sounds, I mean. But fucking yeah, that the intros are like the only reason. I think it would have been better should they have been 2 episodes, or those 2 episodes to be 1 episode. It would be longer, it would be more. It just really felt weird. I guess, you know, the second intro and the ending of the first episode, you could have found a way, though. Could have found a way. So yeah, and then they say, Jeremy Jahns says there wasn't enough to build intrigue. For me, it's kind of true. Like, there wasn't enough there for me to be... If the show keeps up at this pace, that would be problematic. But I feel like things are ramping up. I feel like we are still in the first episode. This is how a first episode would be, right? That's the other thing, is you're watching the first episode. If this were a pilot for something that was brand new, that'd be a problem. But this is more like a season 3. You had Avengers Age of Ultron as season 1, Avengers Infinity War and Endgame as season 2, and this is season 3. Now, it is kind of weird, and it's different enough that it's its own show that's separate from those movies, but at the same time, it kind of is those movies. And as Jeremy Jahns said, I even commented, quote of the day, he said, I know the MCU, and I know this world is not the MCU, so something's obviously fucked here. For some reason, I got such a kick out of that. Yeah, I think that's the point. It's kind of riding on the MCU, and so that way later it can fit into the MCU. The first 2 episodes are... Look, man, I watched them twice, and they only just came out, so I have no qualms.
Believe me, Lieutenant.
But I understand why some people are kind of taken aback, like, this isn't that good. Did you see the crazy shit in the trailers, though? Watch the second trailer. There's still so much we haven't seen yet.
Gordon, come in.
Sergeant Kelly, report.
It's the mayor.
I tell you, next week, they're gonna have something really fucking good.
And he's killing them one by one.
Hot dog. And then we only have to wait like 2 weeks till Falcon and Winter Soldier. Or as I like to call it, fucking Winter Soldier. But, yeah, like, I don't see a problem here. This is a first these 2 episodes, count them as, if you think of them as 1 episode, with like a pause in between, you're good. You're good right now, I think. That way. We'll see if it's worth it in the end. But right now, even though I think that it's not cool right now, I'm sure it'll totally be worth it in the end. And I do like the "don't hug me, I'm scared" elements of it. In my big MCU video, I mentioned the beekeeper guy at the end of the second episode. He's like, you know, a beekeeper, and people are focused on who is this beekeeper, rather than what is this beekeeper. Whatever got sucked into that tornado of like reality or whatever gets turned into this bubble of reality and time that Wanda controls. There was a loud noise outside, and so Wanda went outside to investigate, and she found a toy helicopter. Something she found as obviously jarring. She knows that this world is in black and white, yet the helicopter was red. She obviously found this very confusing. She's like, maybe she doesn't know that the world's in black and white, even though it seems like she did. Maybe she doesn't know that, and she's more like, she just knows something about this is wrong. I mean, because see, if I found a toy helicopter in my bush, I'd be like, that's weird, and then I'd leave it. Maybe I'd put it in the grass, or maybe I'd put it on the sidewalk, or maybe I'd take it inside. But I wouldn't think twice about it. I'd see it and I'd be like, well, I guess I gotta do something about this. Whereas she saw it and was frightened. So, I think that that's one of those helicopters that we see in the trailer. It got sucked into the hole, into the little reality tornado thingy, and then it got turned into a toy. But I want to know why S.W.O.R.D. is involved. We see a guy in a computer room. We see the agents of S.W.O.R.D. Or we see the S.W.O.R.D. logo. And S.W.O.R.D. is like a division of S.H.I.E.L.D., or rather a partner of S.H.I.E.L.D. And S.H.I.E.L.D. is more defensive. They're more offensive. Not that that really matters much. I'm pretty sure they're basically the same thing. But S.W.O.R.D., S.H.I.E.L.D., you see. So S.W.O.R.D. is trying to... They are trying to... Oh, hey, my Final Fantasy video's up. That's weird. So, Final Fantasy 7 2.3. So, the... sorry. The beekeeper guy, I think he's working for AIM, and he got sucked in the same way that... Well, I don't know that he necessarily got sucked in. I feel like he sort of volunteered. I feel like he's trying to figure out whatever's going on in there, and he ended up getting trapped. Scarlet Witch knows something's wrong with him. I don't know what is exactly wrong with him. But she says no, and then time rewinds. That's fucking strange. Now, why is S.W.O.R.D. involved in this at all? And how do they know Wanda's involved in it at all? We hear the S.W.O.R.D. agent say, Wanda, who's doing this to you? His first conclusion was, who is doing this to you? Not what's doing this to you, or why is this happening? And why does he assume Wanda isn't the one doing this? I'm pretty sure she is. It seems like it's doing House of M. That much is certain to me. The way she says no at the end of the episode and then the time rewinds makes me think that, you know, instead of getting something like no more mutants at the end of the episode, or at the end of the show, we'll get something along the lines of no more heroes, and then the Avengers are gone. Haven't heard anyone talk about that. But stuff like that happens. So, I think... Because this is supposed to fold into a larger picture, so I'm sure that the show is going to end very open-ended. But, But, like, we still have a little while to talk about this. I don't think there's a whole lot to talk about here in particular. We can theorize and stuff. But these 2 episodes aren't very long. The 2 episodes are really short. They seem like a reasonable length if you put them together. Yeah, what have you. But as of right now, this shit's kind of fucked. Not a whole lot to talk about. The sword agent. I want to know why the sword agents are involved. I want to know who the fuck who and what the fuck the beekeeper has to do with anything. I want to know what all is going on. The radio was talking like, Wanda, who's doing this to you? Why do you think something's being done to Wanda? Why do you think... Who do you think is involved? Why do you think Wanda isn't the culprit? There are just a lot of assumptions being made in this whole show. And, I mean, to even just fucking experience the show along the way, you're going to pick up on things and you're going to be assuming shit. It's like, how do you go about, like, watching this without making assumptions? I mean, just starting it up on Disney Plus, you're assuming that it's the MCU. It could be another fucking universe entirely. And we're assuming that it's based on House of M. I'm pretty sure it is, but, you know. And then the trailer, we see that reality tornado thing. Is that even what it is? Is that a reality NATO? We see the sword guy watching WandaVision, which is kind of weird. Who the fuck is this sword guy? How is he watching WandaVision? How does one watch reality on a TV? Well, actually, this just sounds like Keeping Up with the Kardashians. But, fucking Keeping Up with the Mutants, man. Damn mutants. You know, just the show, even in universe, makes you assume shit. You're assuming... I've already explained this. Why go over it again? And the way that this is shot, the way that the cameras they're using, even like everything is so weirdly elaborate. There have been people saying that this show sucked. That it's just your standard MCU fare. People claiming to have reviewed it or claiming to have watched it, who were reviewing it, that it was shite. No. This was unrecognized. I want to show this to some guy who's never watched anything. Go find some guy who's been in a fucking... There were these researchers that were on an island for like 10 years. I want to get one of those guys. Show them this show. And ask them if they know what the fuck's going on. You know, they've never heard of the MCU. They've never heard of... Maybe they heard about Iron Man. Maybe they heard about Thor. You know, but they don't know who the fuck the Scarlet Witch is. They don't know who the fuck Ultron is. They don't know who the fuck Quicksilver is. You know, I want to show them this show. And see if they're like, oh yeah, it's those guys from Marvel. Or if they're like, man, this is a weird sitcom that I haven't seen before. Like, I don't know. There are a lot of things going on here. And I don't think that those people even watched it. I don't think these people even watched the fucking trailer. Look at the trailer. Man, the trailer could make you think, oh yeah, it's just the standard MCU stuff. But, dude, I was even watching this episode of Chicago Fire. And Herman has this bar called Molly's. And so he's trying to track down this guy who's leaving a bad review. So he, Otis says something along the lines of like, this guy probably frequents Molly's. He's probably like those guys who go to every superhero movie and write a bad review and just shred it. And then Mom and Dad just looked back at me. I was like, yeah, I know. So, yeah, like, these people didn't watch it. They don't know what they're talking about, so ignore them. They just want to get ad revenue or piss people off. I don't know. Either it's money or personal. I don't get it. Like, what did WandaVision fucking stab your parents? Did Wanda and Vision stab your parents? Let's start a witch hunt, a Scarlet Witch hunt. But yeah, like, the main... Everything is just fucked here. And we don't have enough information to go on. But yeah, this is some classic sitcom stuff. I don't watch a whole lot of sitcoms, but every now and then I caught an episode of Roseanne or Reba. Now there's The Conners. Sitcoms are really on the decline lately, and I think, or they were really on the decline in 2017 to 2019 is when I noticed that they weren't really being made anymore. You had stuff like Mike and Molly, but that's whatever. Now, I never watched a whole lot of these anyways, but my mom did. Reba, Roseanne, she still watches The Conners. I occasionally watch it with her. Which, by the way, why the fuck was the Roseanne thing such a big deal? I realize, maybe after the whole I thought the bitch was white thing, maybe she had it coming. But after a while, it's just like, you're really gonna end someone's career for something they said? Meanwhile, Ezra Miller is over here being in the Flash movie after choking out a lady. They said chokeslam, but no, he strangled the lady and then set her gently on the floor. That's not cool either. But I'm trying to figure out why the fuck Ezra Miller's still in a Flash movie. Meanwhile, Johnny Depp's getting abused, and he's out of a movie. Amber Heard's like, hey, I'm in Aquaman, by the way. Yeah, I chopped off my husband's fingertips, but I'm in Aquaman. He's out of Fantastic Beasts. So I'm clearly the superior. And then she's going to be a bitch about it. Amber Heard actually is the worst. I don't know why the hot ones are always crazy. Anyways, that got really weird. That was a weird tangent. So anyways, what the fuck was I going on about? What the fuck was I on about? Does anyone know what I'm on about? Yeah, WandaVision, it's a lot like Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. You got the alphabet and numbers and, it's, puppets. It's like Sesame Street. And then it turns into... It turns into the Muppets for a second, and then it goes into some really fucking crazy shit of people being murked in very weird ways. And then it goes back into being Sesame Street, and then back into being Muppets, and then back into being crazy, and then it repeats. And, you know what? I actually have I hope I'm not stealing from game theory. I have a theory about that shit. Is it about abuse and how a kid's viewpoint was changed? Because that would be fucking radical. I hope I'm not stealing from, game theory there, or film theory. Anyways, back on topic, that's what WandaVision is. It starts out as a sitcom, and there's something dark that happens, and it turns into like a horror movie for a split second, and then it goes back to being a sitcom. And then I'm sure at some point it'll go to being like standard Marvel fare. Not that I have a problem with standard Marvel fare, but I mean, you have the sitcom and then you have the Marvel superheroes, or Marvel comic book movie genre. The two things are just very different. So, yeah, this is really weird. I want to know where this goes. I'm really hoping my No More Heroes theory is correct. I really want to see No More Heroes. Give your No More Mutants, I have my No More Heroes. Man, that's going to be sick. You can't really do No More Mutants. Mutants aren't really established yet. They fucking exist. Go watch my Marvel speculation video. But yeah. Alright, what did you guys think of the show? Please comment down in the description. Is there any... I will feature your theory and your name if you have something good. And then I will... what do you guys want me to talk about? I can talk about a lot of things here. I basically do whatever the fuck I want, so... Got my Spider-Man review coming out soon. January 16th. Oh, that's fucking tomorrow. Actually, January 16th. We're on the 15th currently, right? Well, actually, it's today because it's 1 o'clock. in the morning. But yeah, yeah. Then Star Wars Battlefront OG number 4. Dude, I was playing a bunch of Star Wars games, and then I just stopped playing a bunch of Star Wars games. Scott Pilgrim's out, so I'm gonna do some more Scott Pilgrim videos. So yeah, but yeah, let me know what you guys thought about this. Let me know what you think. I think I'm gonna give the first episode a 5 out of 10, and the second episode a 7 out of 10. And I think if you mix them, if you count them as one episode, they get about an 8. That sounds right. Also, I like the ad breaks. I think the ad breaks are important too. I didn't talk about that, so I'm sorry. I forgot about it. So, there's a toaster being sold by Stark Industries, and all the while you hear it. When it's cooking, you hear it beeping, like a bomb. You know, it's like beep 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 beep. That wasn't right. That wasn't, but it's ticking down like a bomb. And then so it's like the Stark things that killed the gypsies that raised Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. And then And then you got the second ad, which was Strucker as like a watch. It said like Strucker will make time for you, and I don't know entirely what that means. There are like multiple ways you could take that. The way I'm thinking of it is a reference to Strucker. Obviously, that's the only way to take the first part of it. A reference to Strucker, the Nazi that... Well, I don't know if he was a Nazi or if he was just a crazy German. But he worked for Hydra, and, which, by the way, Hydra are not Nazis. Red Skull was a super Nazi. Don't, get me wrong, but Hydra themselves are not Nazis. I mean, it's like we have certain vaccines that people refuse to take because they were created by Nazis, and they were created by Nazis, and they got stem cells from aborted fetuses. And so people refuse to use that because, it's a morally... No, the damage is done. Might as well use it to help someone, right? I mean, think about it this way. Whatever your stance on abortion, well, now the baby died for no reason. Or the fetus was destroyed for no reason. If injecting that shit into you saves lives, then there's a reason for it, right? That got kind of like a political thing, right? But yeah, I don't see why you'd let whatever go to waste. Good tech, I guess. Isn't that the rule of like, isn't it like the tech rule? You never let good tech go to waste. So even if you fucking destroy something with a sledgehammer, if you can salvage something, might as well. Anyways, back on topic. The Strucker will make time for you. So I take it as a reference to Strucker, the guy who exposed Wanda and Pietro to the Mind Stone, which unlocked their X gene. And then also a reference to the Time Stone. I know he used the Mind Stone, so I think there's something else that's going to happen. But why Strucker a watch? Think about it. Everything else has meaning. The Stark Tech toaster beeps. Yeah, kind of weird that it would be a toaster, but it beeps. And toasters don't fucking do that. And then, so it's Stark Industries. Just like the Stark Industries bomb. So, Strucker, watch, time. Oh fuck. He could have been watching them the whole time. That could be something too. We'll have to wait and see. It could be the Time Stone or Strucker watching them the whole time. Is Strucker back?
All before Waller.
Ooh, that could be how they bring in Quicksilver. Maybe it's like a flashback, or maybe Wanda starts seeing all of like the horrible shit.
Maybe. But the agency.
And so when she brought back Vision, she probably brings back Quicksilver and Strucker.
That man's got some competition in town.
I am a fucking accidental genius. We're saving that as a theory. Man, I'm uploading this now. So yeah, I might upload this before my big MCU video, anyways. So yeah,
Again, Waller may be running.
yeah, I can't believe I just said 3 words in just the right order for that to tick in my brain. Strucker, watch, time. So yeah, I think, yeah, no, it's not the time stone. That's got to be what it was now. That would be fucking sick if I'm the first person to ever think of that. That'd be fucking sick, dude. That would be monumental. That'd be fucking mental. Yeah, Jeremy Johnson didn't say anything, and neither did Angry Joe. So, I'm onto something. All right, I'm gonna end it there because that seems like a good place to stop. Otherwise, I'd just be speculating over nothing. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you want me to talk about later. I'll reply to your comment if it's not really worth making a video on. And if you have a good theory, I'll use it in a video and I'll give you a shout out for it.
I've heard it before.
I will credit you with your theory, by the way. I'm not just gonna use your theory and then give you a shout out. Be like, oh yeah, well it's personally my idea, and then just be like, oh yeah, and thanks to this guy for, you know, what little contributions he gave me. No, if you guys give me a good theory, I'll use it and I'll give it a shout out. If you guys don't, it's not like I'm going to use it and not give you a shout out. I'll probably just ignore it. If I don't think it's worth talking about. Which really, the only way it wouldn't be worth talking about, did I say that right? Is if you guys are just trolling in the comments. Chicago Fire and WandaVision crossover confirmed, you know, that kind of shit. But yeah, let me know what you guys want to, you know, go off in the comments. So just go off in the comments. If I see anything, I'll talk about it. But either way, you'll get a response from me. So yeah, thank you for watching. Yeah, I need to go record some Marvel videos.
Gordon and Maury would have been crushed by that statue at the casino.
For this. That's gonna be a problem, isn't it?
Still too close a call.
Yeah, I need to get some Spider-Man footage, some Avengers footage, and some Ultimate Alliance 3 footage.
For a cleaner flight path. Useful when the odds are stacked against me in a fight.
Why the fuck is really sad music playing? Why do I hear boss music? Yeah, isn't that the fucking worst? Guys, why do I hear boss music? Yeah, why do I hear funeral music? Yeah, so that's like mildly intimidating right there.
Lucius's handiwork.
Ooh, wedding music. Ooh, boss music. Not boss music. Funeral music.
Lucius's latest model.
That would be fucking terrifying in a video game. It's like you establish like a funeral song, like maybe a song like when Aerith dies or something like that in Final Fantasy VII. You have that song and then it plays again later and you're like, what the fuck? Why do I hear death? Yeah, alright, so seriously, I gotta end it here. Yeah, bye. Boop.
Needle. A record needle.
Halfway there, Batman. Means you've got half a chance of stopping a whole lot of pain. To be honest, you're already doing better than I thought. But don't sit around feeling pleased with yourself, unless you want to see me tear this city apart.
I suppose you're going to look in there. An open invitation from the Riddler? Of course. Huh. Looks like I'm manipulating radio bands or waveforms. Something. I'm not sure what I'm looking at or how any of it is actually displaying. And that sound? What? Oh, I'm not really sure about any of it. Get Lucius on the line, will you?
Hey, Alfred.
Good morning, Lucius. I hope we're not interrupting your breakfast.
My youngest is probably stealing all the bacon, but duty calls. What's up?
This is a puzzle from the Riddler. There's a strange waveform pattern I can manipulate inside that needs your expertise.
Yeah, okay. I can meet you at Wayne Tower in a little bit. We'll, fire up the R&D lab.
I wouldn't ask.
So in Dragon Ball, a series of episodes, basically like a season of a show, is called an arc or a saga. But since the MCU has the Infinity Saga already, we're going to call this little season of WandaVision, Spider-Man 3, and Doctor Strange 2 the multiverse arc. You can't really call it the multiverse saga because, I mean, the Infinity Saga, and this is still part of this new saga, but it's self-contained like the Frieza saga. It's fucking weird. Basically, shenanigans ensue. But dude, Chris Evans is, according to Deadline, and they don't get shit wrong, is reportedly in talks with Marvel to come back as Captain America. They seem pretty confident it's Captain America, but at the same time, what other information do they have to go on? Did they fucking say he's back for Captain America? Are they just assuming he's back as Captain America? What if he's actually back as Human Torch? They're doing multiverse shenanigans. People are saying it's too soon for Captain America to return. And it seems like this is a bit too soon for him to just want to be like, yeah, I'm back as Captain America, or for Kevin Feige to be like, hey, yo, we need you again. Right? Doesn't that seem a little soon? Everything's been planned out so methodically, and then you're just like, oh, fuck, we need Chris Evans back. Right? My theory, he's coming back as the Human Torch from the earlier Fantastic Four movies. That, or he could be coming back as Lucas Lee from Scott Pilgrim. But which do you think is more likely here? I think Batman just showing up through a multiverse portal, saying, Scarlet Witch, the Justice League needs you, would be more likely than fucking Lucas Lee showing up. Fucking Batman is more likely. But anyways, Human Torch, right? That seems way more likely. It's just going to be a quick little cameo, which is why the talks are happening so late. It's probably going to be in Doctor Strange 2 rather than Spider-Man. But maybe he's not even coming back as his previous Human Torch. Maybe it's a different Human Torch, and he's going to be Spider-Man's partner for like a few movies. You know, in the comics, Spider-Man and... in the Ultimate Comics, rather, Spider-Man, Human Torch, and Iceman are like a trio. They're like a trinity. Have you watched the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon? Some people say it's garbage, some people say it's alright. I think it's amazing. It has its moments that would annoy the shit out of me, though, but... anyways, the team is basically Spider-Man and half of the Defenders. Daredevil and Jessica Jones aren't there for some reason. But it's Spider-Man, White Tiger, Nova, I'm blanking, Iron Fist, and Luke Cage. I said half and then it disappeared. That team in the comics is really just Spider-Man, Human Torch, and Iceman. But the same wacky. Spider-Man and his amazing friends. Ever watch that cartoon? It's basically that, but get rid of Sunfire. What was her name? Sunfire, I think? Get rid of Sunfire and replace her with, or Sunspot? Something like that. And replace her with Human Torch. In fact, the reason Human Torch wasn't in that cartoon is because they couldn't get the rights, so they made up a new fucking character. If I recall. That claim actually might make my credibility go way fucking down. Even if I'm right, probably. Basically, they could be getting Chris Evans to do a new Human Torch, which would be unrelated to the MCU's eventual Human Torch, and he may show up in Spider-Man. And if he shows up in Spider-Man, you can assume he's going to show up in Doctor Strange. And if he shows up in Doctor Strange, maybe he'll get another Spider-Man related outing. Not Spider-Man, but Spider-Man related. Like, Spider-Man will be there the next time they, you know. Or I could be fucking a total dipshit. But yeah, I don't think he's coming back as Captain America. Some people are saying that he could come back as Tony Stark. I'm like, what the fuck? I know we're presuming multiverse, but that ain't how it works, Chief. You don't just have Batman be the fucking Flash in another universe. Having Brandon Routh play the Atom in Superman is one thing, but having Ben Affleck play Superman, that's on a whole nother fucking level, dude. Like, what are you smoking? So, in other words, I mean, I really hope some of these quotes from me get memed up eventually. They probably won't. But yeah, so, dude, it's gonna be so weird. I'm approaching 100 subscribers, which I'm super excited for. It'd be so fucking weird if I'm working at McAllister's one day, and, like, some kid or something is playing my videos. I'd be like, who the fuck is that? That sounds familiar. That'll probably never happen. Dude, that's goals right there. But hopefully I don't say anything stupid. You know, maybe that shouldn't be goals. But, yeah, so the, Captain America, yeah, I don't think he's playing Iron Man. That one was way fucking out there, and everyone just says it like it's a thing that could happen. I mean, honestly, it's like someone was driving a car, and then I was in the back seat, and someone's driving a car, and then they just get fucking murked, and then, like, the car starts steering wildly. It's like everyone else is calm about the situation. I'm the only one freaking out. It's like the driver's dead. We're all gonna die, and you guys aren't reacting. Like, come on. Why am I the only one freaking out when you say that? You act like, yeah, that kind of figured that would happen one day. I'm like, bro, this is avoidable, man. We can just bail. And they're like, no, I'm gonna accept this. Accept what? Accept what? Yeah, so anyways, so, like, yeah, I think Chris Evans, I don't think he's returning as Captain America. I actually think Deadline might be presuming a little bit. Dude, I know I've been wrong so many times, but I feel it in my bones. Deadline's not usually wrong. I reported on their story about DC being a liability to WB. I think they were wrong about that. I think I saw, hey, look, it's fucking Deadline, and just went fucking wild with it. Because WB seems to really be... They're loosening their grip on it, though, so were they wrong? Because they're doing so many things right now that before, with their tight-ass grip, nothing was happening, and now they're, like, loosening back. I guess they see that there's no way to succeed with them if they tighten their grip like that. It's like DC is more for them than it is the fans, which kind of erases the point of you selling me a product. Which is kind of what I've been saying before. Back on topic, yeah, Deadline, they reported he's coming back, and Chris Evans is all like, huh, that's news to me. I didn't know I was coming back. I didn't know I was in talks with Marvel. It's like, yeah, you did. I mean, either they aren't or they are. If nothing happens in the next year, I would sooner admit that Chris Evans just said no than think that Deadline got the details wrong, which could be a bit of a problem. But I am confident Deadline got it right. So, yeah. This is, by the way, just a big, long video on speculation for this multiverse arc. But yeah, I just wanted to put my hat in the ring about the Captain America thing. I had to say it before someone asked me, like, I mean, fucking, I have 100 people subscribed and probably like 20 that are actually watching this.
She could be waiting for me to
So,
call her
what the
back.
fuck do I know? People probably aren't gonna ask shit.
She could be
Let's be
running
real
out of
here.
minutes on her cell phone plan. I mean, she's probably doing international roaming. That stuff is expensive.
By the way, if it sounds like I'm ungrateful, that's not the case.
Or maybe
just
she
having
just
a little
really
bit of
needed
joke
to
around.
polish her pistols.
I'm actually gonna make a
Fucking
special
crazy.
video when I reach 100.
The simplest and most obvious solution
I mean,
is...
that's certainly a milestone I wouldn't miss. I made a video when I reached fucking 10.
Logic takes the
I'm
fun out of
grateful every step of the way. I've been looking at my stats recently, and I'm like, man, I'm really approaching it. I gotta get off to work on a video soon. So yeah, I'm gonna put a video out. I'm gonna record a video tomorrow, and then I'll probably put it out in like a week. So even if I don't reach that milestone, I'll have something prepared. Yeah. So, anyways,
Let's get to work.
back on topic, next thing is, I thought would be really cool, is if they bring back the X-Men from the Fox universe. Because guess what? Kevin Feige's like, yeah, that's not part of my plan. I'm not putting the X-Men in the MCU yet. But you can keep the other X-Men in there with the multiverse, right? You can bring them in whenever. I say get Patrick Stewart, James McAvoy, let me look them up. Ian McKellen and Michael Fassbender. I don't really know how you get all of them,
Fortress thing. But now that all of New York City has seen it,
but I'm
Hammerhead
sure they
will
can find
probably be
something.
here soon.
Then get Hugh Jackman and
So let us work quickly.
sorry, that was my watch, and it's midnight, so
I have acquired the
and,
class 5 laser array. We
the
need to calibrate it to prevent it from overheating.
I don't know
Lucky for
any of
us,
the
I'm
guys
working on
that
my
play.
master's
Wait, I
in
have Sonic the
calibration.
Hedgehog right over here.
Let's do this.
I don't know the younger Cyclops,
Okay, what's
but
first?
let's see what
Pull
this
the
guy's
housing
name is.
array into place.
On it.
James Marsden.
Whoa. Nice laser.
Yeah, for some reason that wasn't what I was thinking.
Housing locked.
Done and done.
So yeah,
We are
James
not
Marsden
done.
is the older one.
Oh.
We must reset the targeting field aerials.
Sure
Do
thing.
like a multiverse and time travel
I
crossover.
have
That would be
no
sick.
idea what you're talking about.
Exit the hangar and navigate to the top
Don't
of
do
the
Days of
nearby
Future
trench.
Past though.
Alrighty.
Michael's still working on a
So
pitch for
we
that.
should talk about
Not
the
that it's gonna
strategy
happen.
with Hammerhead, don't you think?
But
What is there to
hey,
talk about? Find
Michael
it.
can do whatever the fuck he
Then
wants
focus
to
the
do.
laser on the plate in his head.
I mean, the pitch is gonna happen whether it goes through or
Critical
not.
temperature.
Whether I'm even able
Rearrange
to
its
develop
molecular
it.
structure.
And
I'm
soften
gonna
it
get
so
a
I can knock
team
him
because I actually
unconscious. I
can't be
get that
expected to
part,
do
but
everything.
How do you know it won't?
Getting a team,
melt
which
his
sounds
brain?
like I'm being extremely lazy with my basically my idea, but I like getting input and also
Okay, well, Shepard, just remember my no killing rule.
I
Okay?
don't know that I even fucking could learn to code, model, and do all of that stuff. Don't get me wrong, I'm not just gonna stop trying. I'm gonna figure out how to do everything,
How's
but
it look?
Systems appear functional.
I'm not very good
Now
at
we must
drawing.
test the targeting and power levels.
So why would I be
Cool.
good at doing that in
This
3D
doesn't
on a
involve
computer?
shooting me, does it?
Not yet. But I do
Right.
need you to launch those targets.
Right. Okay, ready?
Ready.
That being said, I have made some concept art for that game. That I'm working on, so I've got some. I can't really show it though. Again, I don't want my ideas to be taken.
Oh,
They're probably not that good,
cool with me. This is
but you'll see
fun.
them when you see them.
Comes another one.
If the pitch doesn't go through, I'll release it anyways. Someone else can give me ideas later on.
Is this
But I'm not
modern
giving them up
military?
without at least
Keep
trying.
shooting? Oh,
So,
can we do one more?
yeah,
Please?
back on topic.
Sorry, child.
The X-Men actors.
Yeah, well, we're all children on the inside.
I actually think it'd be kind of cool to see Michael Fassbender's Magneto. Meet Scarlet Witch.
We have one more thing to
Because I'm pretty sure, as far as the Fox universe is concerned, Scarlet Witch died. She was like 2 years old. I don't know if that was Scarlet Witch, but I'm like confident in that. There was like a little girl in Apocalypse.
Okay, that should do
And
it.
I don't remember who killed her. I think it was like a SWAT team or something. They just fucking shot her and killed her. And so I don't know. I imagine some sort of like throwaway line, where like I don't know. Someone says like, someone's talking to Magneto as he's just come through a portal, and maybe it's Doctor Strange, and he's like, "Yeah, that's Wanda Maximoff over there," and then Magneto's like, "That's who? What did you just say?" And then they go over the fact that she's a mutant, and then Scarlet Witch will probably be like, "You know, I kind of suspected something was weird about me, not just what happened with the stone." And then he'd be like, "The stone? You mean the Mind Stone?" And then maybe they'd reveal that the first set of mutants in the Fox universe were also created from the stone, or activated by the stone. It'll help connect the universes a little bit, help explain a few things. I don't know that I entirely like the idea of them retconning the Fox universe, but... And you know what? That really doesn't work, because Wolverine was a mutant. Maybe Magneto can explain that some mutants were activated that way, rather than all of them. Because the first wave, that doesn't make any sense, because Wolverine was back in like the fucking 1800s, like the fucking caveman dude that he is. The dude lived to be 240 something in the Fox universe. When Logan ends, that's how old he is, my dude. So, yeah, but yeah, I think that exchange I just suggested would be amazing with the two versions, like with the MCU Scarlet Witch and the Fox Magneto meeting. Also, Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen, I would hope that they play the rebooted X-Men versions. There might be a little bit of confusion, so they might just, but then you can have that same exchange if you can't get Michael Fassbender back. So he's like, "Oh, the humans killed my daughter a while ago," or something like that. And you know what? Maybe you have some character growth. Maybe Magneto, in his old age, gives up his war on humans when he sees that Scarlet Witch has lived trying to protect them. It's his own blood. I think the movie versions would actually agree with that. They'd set their piece. Whereas in the comics, numerous times have Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch joined other teams. And I'm pretty sure Quicksilver is primarily a bad guy in the comics. But I mean, even if Scarlet Witch just explains what happened to her brother, then maybe the Fox Magneto is just like, died protecting other humans. And then, like, specifically his team. So, I think hearing of his son's self-sacrifice in the, name of protecting humans, and hearing what Wanda's been doing this whole time, I think that would be really cool. Also, rumor has it that the Fox Quicksilver is already set to appear in WandaVision. Some people think he's playing Mephisto. And at first I said, you know what, fuck it, that's more likely than the Fox Quicksilver, because that's another universe. And back then the multiverse stuff was not confirmed. Like, we knew Doctor Strange 2 would delve into it, but it seemed like it was just that one movie. Now we know that Doctor Strange 2, Spider-Man 3, and WandaVision are all doing that. And I wouldn't be surprised if they announced more movies more projects that were doing that. Dude, if they just said fucking tomorrow, hey, Falcon and Winter Soldier is also going to be part of this multiverse arc, then I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. I mean, I'm not expecting it, but if they announced it, I'd be like, oh, that's neat, and that would be it. I wouldn't be like, oh, plot twist of the millennium, right? So I guess it would surprise me, but it'd be a different... It'd be like a lesser surprise. It'd be like, you know what, I kind of thought that could happen. Not necessarily that it would, right? Right, so I would be surprised, but I wouldn't be surprised. So anyways, yeah, I really think that this crossover would be cool for both sides, both fan bases. Because, you know, there are people that love the X-Men movies but hate the MCU, and there are people who love the MCU but hate the X-Men movies. And then, you know, there are fucking most people who are like, oh, that's... both universes can coexist, that's cool. Right? And then you can confirm whether or not... whether there were or whether there were not Avengers in the X-Men universe. Like, there probably weren't, but at the same time, just because they're not mentioned doesn't mean they're not flying around. People are wondering how they're going to explain mutants in the MCU. To be honest, the only thing they have to explain is who is and who isn't a mutant. Sure, we haven't heard of Wolverine before, but who's to say he hasn't been just lying around? I mean, Spider-Man and X-Men were not connected. The Sam Raimi and Bryan Singer movies were not connected. But over the years, they tried so many times to get them connected, apparently. So what? And Wolverine was supposed to have a cameo in Spider-Man 2. But Spider-Man was never mentioned anywhere in the X-Men universe. And the X-Men were never mentioned anywhere in the Spider-Man universe. But when people talk about the history of both universes, people are like, yeah, these were probably supposed to be connected at some point. So why does suddenly the MCU have to reference that mutants have always been here? All you really have to do is get some flashbacks in there. Show, like Wolverine. Here, I've just come up with some great dialogue in my head, which is weird because that whole fucking sentence was ass. So Wolverine could be talking to someone, probably one of the students, and he'd have a flashback to World War II. And so he'd be saying, like, well, while the Star-Spangled Man was running around in Germany, you know, the story everyone's familiar with, I was doing my own thing. That would be something fucking cool. You connect it to Captain America, the First Avenger, and you explain that these guys have been here, you just haven't heard of them. People are like, Charles Xavier probably just went in everyone's mind and made them forget about mutants, and it's fucking possible. But every single fucking person's mind, what are you, mental? I mean, I guess he is. I guess Charles Xavier is pretty mental. But, you're certified crazy if you think that's legit. Who's texting me? Oh, my dad. It's, TikTok. Anyways, why did it sound like my bed just took a shit? But anyways, yeah, I think... I don't think there's anything they have to explain. I don't think they have to be like fucking, oh yeah, mutants, you know, when the snap happened, that was what caused mutants. Or, the mutants have always been here, but Charles Xavier made people forget. He made them forget. Did he also make them scrub the history books? Surely people would have noticed when the Brotherhood of Mutants showed up wrecking shit. That would have been on the newspapers. Right? Fucking the Blob, Pyro, and Quicksilver. Ah. Well, I guess not Quicksilver because he's an Avenger. You know, that would be on the news. An epidemic of superpowers is spreading through the city. What, did people just erase that? Or did they not know about mutants? Someone would have figured out the X gene. Someone would have been in there and been like, hey, this gene's not in most people. I've never seen this one before. There are just too many holes in that theory. Look, rumor has it Charlie Cox is on set for, according to comicbook.com, not necessarily the website, but a few guys who work there, Charlie Cox has been spotted on set for Spider-Man 3 as Daredevil. Brendan Davis, I think, is the guy's name. He, so if we're canonizing Daredevil, which is what I'm assuming they're doing, they could just be using the same actor, which I'd be totally okay with. If we're canonizing Daredevil, then the trial of Frank Castle is also canon. How come we never heard about that? How come we never see Avengers Tower in the skyline? Look, these can all be explained away, but they don't have to. You can just ignore it or realize that it doesn't necessarily need to be explained. Guess what? Avengers Tower just wasn't in view. Guess what? The mutants have always been here. You just didn't know that they were here. Right? I mean, did they fucking explain where the... Actually, I want to say they did explain where the Infinity Stones came from. Are you going to need to explain how the reason that Tony Stark is so smart? Are you going to need to explain the reason that vibranium functions the way it does on a molecular level? Do you need to explain how fuck. Where was I going with this? There was somewhere I was going. It was going to be fucking epic. It was going to be huge plays. It was going to be fucking so huge play. Man, it was going to be huge plays. Do you need to explain how Wanda Maximoff got the name Wanda, or where the last name Maximoff originated? Do you need to explain... Well, actually, the Bible explains where Adam and Eve came from. Fuck it. Huge plays. Do you need to explain why people evolved to use lasers in Star Wars? Not evolved. Evolved their weapons to use lasers in Star Wars? Why don't they just use bullets? Do you need to explain what every floor of the Death Star is used for? Do you need to explain why the X-Wing has wings that form into an X? Do you need to explain why rubber duckies are made of rubber? No, you can just go with it. Do you need to explain why I can't see New York from my backyard? I mean, I'm probably looking at something that's in New York, maybe. But I'm not good with maps and shit. I don't fucking... But, no, you don't need to explain that shit. It's just a thing. There are explanations for these things, probably. But do we need to know them? No. So yeah, mutants, they've just been here. That's the explanation I want, is that they've just been here. And I don't even want the movies to spell it out for me. I want me to just discover, oh yeah, they've just been here. Because the Professor X theory is oddly intricate. But honestly, it should just be laughed off. I think in one of the movies, like, if Cyclops fucks up with his heat vision or something and blows their cover, then maybe he says, like, well, can't you just make this disappear like you always do? And Professor X is like, what do you want me to do? Wipe every single person's mind? Like, honestly, have some joke like that in there. And then, yeah, and then you have, like, you see Wolverine back in, like, fucking 1858, probably. And then, so obviously it couldn't have been the snap that created mutants. Look, if you go outside of the main universe, you find examples like in the Wakandan Files or something like that. It says that Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver had something in their DNA that was activated by the Mind Stone. They changed their description from saying their powers were given to them by the Mind Stone to saying that they always had their powers, they were just dormant. So, I think it would be stupid to assume that every mutant would need the Mind Stone. However, the Wakanda Files do have a problem where they say that Sokovia has a lot of people with defects in their genetics. and that a lot of them had experiments done on them with the Mind Stone. From the sounds of it, everything we know about mutants in the MCU require the Mind Stone to activate them. That doesn't necessarily mean that that's the only way, but the book does seem to go out of their way to say, yeah, Sokovia has a lot of these guys. And why is Sokovia the only place that has the X gene? It probably isn't, but why did Strucker go to Sokovia? So there are some holes in there, but honestly, nothing is a plot hole. Nothing is huge. Nothing is huge plays. Nothing is fucking Michael, you're wrong. Michael, you're a dipshit. Nothing is like that. It's more like this doesn't really need to be explained, guys. We just have them. And guess what? If you want proof that the MCU has had mutants, there's a deleted scene that had to be taken out due to copyright. Oh my fuck, dude, that was weird. I just had the worst headache ever. So there is a deleted scene in the first Iron Man movie that was deleted because of copyrights and licensing and problems, but basically Nick Fury says that if wall crawlers or if radioactive bug bites and assorted mutants weren't problematic enough, now we have to deal with a Tony Stark who got too big for his iron suit or his iron diaper or something like that. I will find the real quote real quick. As if gamma accidents and radioactive bug bites weren't enough. No, it was fuck it, you guys get it. Look at that deleted scene. Yeah, he says gamma accidents referring to the Hulk, radioactive bug bites referring to Spider-Man, who is now in. That one doesn't make any sense, let's be honest with you. But and then he mentions assorted mutants. Assorted mutants. That's plural and an implication of a lot. I'm pretty sure assorted means a lot of randoms. So what fuck it. Yeah, various and random. So that what do you guys think on that one? Me thinks mutants have been here for a while. Just because we don't see them doesn't really mean anything. Now, it is kind of weird, I will admit, that in Jessica Jones and Daredevil, that, you know, in all of this, none of that is really referenced. Now, it's possible that you can... There's one scene where Jessica Jones has a bunch of people invade her apartment because they find out that she has powers, and these people are trying to kill anyone with powers. That mirrors mutants, doesn't it? So it's possible that these people have gone after mutants as well. I don't think these people killed any of them. Good luck killing mutants. This is like a rogue, this is like renegade people. So good luck with that, you fucking idiot. But, I mean, dude, they went after Wolverine. He's just gonna tear him a new asshole. Yeah, so it's possible that, you know, they only mentioned the Avengers, but probably the most notable example was the Battle of New York. These people probably also faced down with mutants before, right? You would think. You would think. That's English. It's English for you. But like, what about, you know, what about Inhumans? Those guys haven't been mentioned anywhere. Is that really a plot hole? They're basically fucking mutants, let's be honest. So, yeah. And here's what another thing you can do. I told you the flashback thing. Integrate Wolverine via flashbacks with Captain America. You just show that scene of him shooting all of the Nazis when he kicks in that door. And then you do like a wipe, and then you have Wolverine cutting up some people. You know, so you do that stylistic thing. It's nostalgic and everything. And so you do that, and so you can do the flashback thing. But it'd also be cool if there was an entire Wolverine movie that was just World War II. I really want a fucking Wolverine and Captain America team up. Preferably Hugh Jackman and Chris Evans. But Hugh Jackman's not going to want to be a Wolverine in the entirety of the MCU. So you just take Hugh Jackman, his Wolverine, from a random point in time, probably before Logan, but after like all of the other movies. And you give him, you put that Wolverine in a movie with Captain America via not flashbacks, but like a prequel movie that's probably in between Infinity War and Endgame. You give them a little team up. It doesn't even have to be a whole movie of that, but just a little bit, because then I will just totally fan out, or fanboy up. I guess it wouldn't be as cool if he doesn't have his Captain America shield. If he just has that Wakanda thing that Black Panther gave him, that would be kind of lame. But, yeah, I mean, either way, that would be fucking sick. But yeah, give the new Wolverine a World War II team up. I've always fucking wanted that. And so it kind of sucks that we're not going to get it with Hugh Jackman, but we need to get some team up between him and Captain America and some a fight with him versus Hulk. Just do that in the next Avengers movie, if Avengers 5 is multiverse and stuff too. A multiversal Avengers team. Dude, have you played Injustice 2? Look up Green Arrow's ending. It's like a multiversal Justice League. A multiversal Avengers would be awesome. It'd be fucking lit. It'd be sick as fuck. But yeah, yeah, that would be fucking lit. Okay, so, yeah, put Wolverine on that team. Put Wolverine and Deadpool on that team, and then put Deadpool on, like, another team, too. Like, some Avengers members can be on multiple teams. You know, you have divisions and supervisors on those divisions. Deadpool's not gonna be a fucking supervisor, but, you know, he can have a high role, I guess, if he earns it, fuck it. Or maybe he just says that he paid off the Marvel writers. He's like, if you wonder how I got a management role, I paid off the writers for this movie. So maybe he just says, I fucking gutted one of the writers. And threatened the other ones. But yeah, so, dude, this is lit. This writes itself. Yeah, that was a tongue twister for some reason. It shouldn't have been, but it was. So yeah, like, woo, I got dizzy for a second. So yeah, oh, I feel like an idiot. Yeah, do some team ups, do some prequel movies like Captain Marvel, Wonder Woman, Captain America, you know, some prequel movies. So Captain America is in the 40s. Captain Marvel is in the 80s. Wolverine's first movie can be in the 60s. I think that would be an interesting setting. You could do a little bit with the setting. Maybe it's just after his amnesia trip, so you don't have to go over his origins, but you're still really early on. And then a Professor X movie, maybe a Beast movie, can be set in like early 2000s. And then you could do the X-Men movie as an event. You have the other movies that lead into X-Men. The X-Men can appear in Wolverine and Beast and Cyclops and whatever, but X-Men is the event movie. You have the other characters as the main stuff. You build up Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, and Hulk into an Avengers movie. You can build up Wolverine, Cyclops, and Professor X into an X-Men movie. So, yeah. You know what? This is just going to be MCU speculation, okay? And this is what I'm going to call this. But basically, you you know, this takes time. Fantastic Four you can do in one movie. I mean, you can do a Mr. Fantastic movie. You can do a Invisible Woman movie. But is that a good? Is that the best idea? They're not really a team. They're not really a team. They're friends, right? They're friends. They're family. Why would you have them separated? If you did a Mr. Fantastic movie, it would most likely be a Fantastic Four movie anyways. At the very least, a Fantastic 3. And if you have 3, why not have the 4th? So... yeah, yeah, the, ow. There we go, that one fucking hurt. Yeah, like, if you want to establish that these characters have been here before, like, yeah, they gave an explanation for why we haven't heard of Captain Marvel before, but do we really need an explanation? I mean, even still, she fucked up the 80s. Why hasn't anyone ever heard of her? She punched an old lady in the face on a train. That would have made headlines. I guarantee it. And there's nothing to suggest she ever existed prior to Avengers Endgame. And her own movie. Like, you fucking what? There are so many reasons that there should be evidence of her existence, and yet there's none. So who's to say the X-Men haven't just slipped under the Avengers' radar? Was there ever any reason for them to attack them? Was there ever any reason for them to intervene? I think the big thing that those movies should avoid, if they're going to be prequels or have flashbacks, is establishing, like, the Avengers having to fight them at some point in the past. That would be problematic. If the Avengers had to fight these guys, why were they never brought up, right? I mean, the Chitauri, Ultron, Thanos, they get brought up all the time in conversations. Why haven't you brought up the X-Men? They would have posed a fucking threat. Read the book, Avengers vs. X-Men, great book. You can't just pretend that they didn't exist. That's not how that works. So that would be the only thing, is if the Brotherhood of Mutants or the X-Men had to fight the Avengers, those guys are pretty tough cookies. They would have mentioned it. Magneto would be able to crush Iron Man. He probably would have recognized his son and his daughter, or at the very least recognized that they were mutants. That would have created conflict. You have to give me reasons that they would have never... you have to make sure that they never interacted. Alright, that's the only problem that they have. Like, if the Punisher had fought the Avengers, even for a second, any of them, he would have been brought up, right? The Hulk would have said something. Like, dude, there was this guy in New York with a bunch of guns. Captain America would have been like, dude, there's this guy with a bunch of guns, and he actually fights somewhat competently. Iron Man would have been like, dude, this guy with guns went down like a chump. Thor would have been like, this fucking mortal shooting at me with all these fucking... like, what the fuck? He had some balls, that one. Hey, is Punisher worthy of the hammer? What are the rules of being worthy again? So, you know. And Jessica Jones, dude, if Jessica Jones fought Thor or Hulk, that shit would... Jessica would actually stand a chance, I think. Luke Cage could probably go with the Hulk a little bit. I think he would lose, but even Hulk would be like, ooh, Hulk, not like thick-skinned man wearing yellow shirt and jeans. Hulk not like that guy. So yeah, if they interact, extremely problematic for this whole fucking operation. The whole operation would be ruined. Sorry guys, I speak the truth. So let me know what you guys think. This video is getting too long. I should have stopped talking a long time ago. And since I don't know how to edit out what is not pertinent, I just need to stop real quick. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you guys thought about anything I said. Multiverse, or X-Men, or Mutant, or Fantastic Four. Anything. And even if it's not necessarily related to the video, you just let me know if you guys want me to cover something. This has been too long. And I always read comments. I always respond to them. Right now I can afford to do that. If all 100 of you just started, like, spamming out in the chat, then we'd have a problem. But I get, like, a comment, like, twice a month, so probably nothing to worry about. Anyways, you know what? A lot of them get sent to my spam directory, though, so I need to check on those. But yeah, I guess if your comment got put in the spam, then I'll go check on it. There are certain keywords that get held for review or whatever. So, I don't know what those words are. I believe you can set them up, but I didn't. They just get done like that sometimes. So, yeah. You let me know what's going on, what you guys want to talk about, what you guys want me to cover. I'm not, like, no news guy. Not one of those news channels that covers, like, everything Marvel, but I'll cover whatever you want me to cover. So, and I do cover most of the interesting stuff. And then I'm going to do a review on WandaVision's 2 episodes, because those are out now. I watched them. They're really they remind me of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. How it's, like, the puppets doing, like, the alphabet, the numbers counting to 100, that kind of shit, and then they're just stabbing one another. I have not watched Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared in quite a while, so I don't know if that's right necessarily, but it isn't wrong. And that's sort of what WandaVision reminded me of. It's like you have all this shit going on in the background while this sitcom's playing. It's like a sitcom and then crazy dark shit. It's like there's this one guy who's like, Wanda, who's doing this to you? Wanda, do you read me? And then Wanda's like, who is that? And then the thing explodes and glass cuts this chick's hand. Dottie, my mom's name. Yeah, this chick gets like, it was really weird because everything's in black and white, but except the blood. And then there's a scene right at the end of one of the episodes that's really it creeped me the fuck out. I was watching it like really early in the morning before I went to work, and it really creeped me the fuck out. It's just this dude. He crawls up out of fucking nowhere, and he's in a beekeeper suit, and there are bees swarming him. And Wanda just like squints and says no, and then time rewinds, and then it plays out differently. And I was like, what the fuck? Now people are wondering, who's this man in the beekeeper suit? I don't think who he is as important as what he is. People joke about the beekeepers all the fucking time. Not the beekeepers. AIM agents all the fucking time because of their beekeeper suit. Beekeeper suit. AIM agent. What are these guys working for AIM? Advanced Idea Mechanics. He could be their prelude into MODOK, since we know they're going to do stuff with that. Not relating to the Hulu series that's coming out. That's going to be separate. But, everyone's always joking about the beekeepers. People are talking that we're finally getting beekeeper suits into the MCU. What if that literal beekeeper was an AIM agent? in the trailer for WandaVision, we see this weird, like, tornado that's, like, morphing reality. So whatever gets in that gets converted into this weird WandaVision thing. So what if that beekeeper is an agent of AIM? Wouldn't that be something? I mean, he could be Hydra, but I doubt it. So, what do you guys think about that? Does that seem plausible? No one else is talking about it, which is surprising to me. I thought people would have caught on to that sooner. I mean, by the time this video goes out, people have already thought of that because I put it into the universe, now the universe is putting it into other people. But I've watched Comic Book Cast, I've watched New Media Rockstars? What was that? I watched the other ones. Not a single fucking person has brought that up, which is really bizarre to me. They focused on the beekeeper for so long, and everyone's focused with who rather than what. It's weird. Although, you know what? I might just be heightened in my alertness because fucking bees. No one told me there were gonna be fucking bees, man. I don't care if you put me in a beekeeper suit. I'm just gonna fucking pass out. Oh look, I got the queen. Oh look, I killed the queen. Yeah, do not give me the bee queen. I'll just fucking smash it and just. I'll be the boss of the bees now. The bee's knees, motherfucker. Yeah, anyways, I seriously gotta go. This is going on too long. Sorry to keep you guys waiting here for so long. Bye now.
That is one shady looking weapons deal. How long you been an arms dealer? Started after I got laid off at Oscorp. Get him out of here! I know Spidey taught me a quip for this. Stop, criminals! Got a beat on the kid! Time to die! Spider-Man! I'm gonna blow you away! I do not like this! How's he doing that? Somebody do something!